in terms of the actual YCS, let's get down to the drama. So there's so many things to unpack here because a lot happened, and this is not necessarily to like shit on Konami. Take everything we say as constructive criticism with a little spice to it because I can't help but to be a little spicy.
Yeah.
But registration for the event is online. So that's the first thing. The Ultimate Time Wizard event, in order to play in this event, you have to register online and you have to submit your deck list online. So I did that.
2 things I don't have a problem with, except
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either. Except what?
the way they make you do the deck list.
Yes. So the way you actually have to add cards to your deck list, you have to type in the card name. Then a little filter comes up in it. So if you type in Elemental Hero, every single Elemental Hero will come up in a text box, like a little text box, and you have to scroll down until you find Stratos. You click on Stratos, so he's highlighted. Then you have to click another button that says Add, and then there's another button that makes you choose how many you want to add to the deck, like 1, 2, or 3. So you do this for every single card of your deck. If you want to change the quantity, so I was playing 2 enemy controls at first, and then I ended up going down to 1 enemy controller. And so when I wanted to do that, I was like, oh, well, maybe I could just go over to the card enemy controller on the deck list and then click the thing down to go from 2 to 1, and that doesn't exist. You have to completely delete it and re-add it. Also, I don't know why the bot allows you to do this, but if I clicked add 1 enemy controller, assuming that it would like update it or maybe even make it go from 2 to 3, it would just add a line under it that says 1 econ. So my deck list will look like two econs, then it will say 1 econ under it. So it seems like a very old system. I don't know what they're using for that, but it seems pretty outdated, I want to say. And the way you do it is just really counterintuitive. There needs to be a much simpler and better way to do your deck lists online. That's the first thing.
Yeah, James he got hit with that. He tried to add a lightning vortex to his deck, but he misclicked and added Raigeki Break twice, and he thought that it was a glitch where like the lightning vortex just said Raigeki Break and that he could like get it fixed. Because he thought it would just go from 1 to 2, like you said.
Yeah.
But they made him play with 2 Raigeki Breaks because their system is so weird. And
yeah. So it looks ridiculous because imagine just writing Raigeki Break, then putting 1 next to the quantity, and then writing Raigeki Break again and putting 1 next to the quantity. Like no one would ever do that. That's not a thing.
Yeah, so and they told James was like, yeah, no one ever do that. But then the guys were like, well, you can do that, so we're gonna have to hold you to it. And it's like
that's so ridiculous. Oh, that's so ridiculous. So that was before the event. That's before we even get to the event. This is before this is like pre-YCS stuff, pre-actual Ultimate Time Wizard stuff. This is just how you register. Okay. So on the website, it said that the tournament will begin at 1 p.m. And it said this for every day leading up to the actual tournament. Randomly, though, on the day of the tournament, Saturday morning, Cam messaged me.
I think it was actually Friday that they changed it, but it's still very late.
Yeah, well, changing something the night before the tournament is also fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. But they gave us a day.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, though I didn't find out till the morning of. So I was expecting that I didn't have to be there until probably around like 12:15, 12:30 is when I would get there. If the tournament starts at 1, I want to be there at least a half hour early. So I was planning to get there at 12:30. Cam messages me at like, I don't even know what time it was when you messaged me.
It was like 9:30 or something.
Yeah, he was like, where are you at? And I was like, the tournament doesn't start till 1, so I'm in my hotel room laying in the bed. I'll be there in a couple hours. Man. So he goes, there's a mandatory check-in that you have to show up to before 11:30. And I was like, what? So I like stood up, I like sat up in my bed because me and my friend Gary, who are both there to play in this tournament, we're just kind of lollygagging in a room thinking that we have several hours before we need to show up. So I said, yo, Gary, did you know that there's a check-in at 11:30 a.m.? And he was like, no. I was like, okay, I'm not crazy, right? The website didn't say anything about that, right? He was like, no. It said that the tournament starts at 1 p.m. There was never anything about a check-in. I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. I didn't see that either. You didn't see it, so now I feel more vindicated in that. But then, come to find out, not only did they change this check-in thing at 11:30 a.m., the tournament now starts at 12 p.m. instead of 1 p.m. So, like, 2 major changes to the tournament happened between Friday and Saturday. Like between those days, something happened where they started changing things on the website to reflect these new like check-in and the new time for the tournament. So I found that to be really annoying because if Cam didn't message me, I would have showed up at 12:30 and I would have been dropped from the tournament. I wouldn't even have gotten a match loss. I would have been dropped because if you don't show up for 10 minutes, they just drop you. So like I would have walked in at 12:30 with fucking Starbucks like I did, thinking that like everything's fine, and I'd have saw a bunch of people playing, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are people why is it like the event started already? And they're like, oh yeah, you were supposed to be here at 11:30. It was like, well, no, I wasn't. The website said it started at 1 p.m. Like, why would I be there at 11:30? So I would have raged. That would have been a really bad situation. I'm so glad that you messaged me and said that, because honestly, if it wasn't for you, I would have stayed in my hotel until at least 12:15 or something.
Yeah.
So that was the first egregious thing. The second thing, and this is the most egregious one, they told us, for some strange reason, the judges, every single judge for this tournament told, and we had a couple too. We actually had like 3 or 4 judges for the Ultimate Time Wizard tournament, which was interesting. I'm not used to events being kind of overstaffed like that, but I'm happy because that means that when you call
more judges is way better than less.
Yes, exactly.
And they also seem to know their stuff. I didn't hear any ruling issues for like Edison wise this whole weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And that could just be like your experience. I have no idea, but I can also vouch that I didn't have any bad rulings either. Except there is one story I have to tell, and it is kind of annoying what happened, but I'll get to that in a second. You just reminded me. I didn't even have that written down. So the other egregious thing is that all the judges were saying that the event was going to cut to top 16. Now, every Ultimate Time Wizard tournament prior to this one has been top 8. On a website, it says that top cut is going to be top 8 if you reach a certain number of players, right? And so these events will always be top 8 because based on the website, you only need like 64 people, over 64 people for it to be top 8. And they're always going to have over 64 people no matter what. There's no fucking way you'll ever get an Ultimate Time Wizard tournament where you're playing for $7,000 cash, because first is like $5K and then second and third get $1K. So you're never going to have a $7,000 tournament with less than 64 people. That's the first thing. So this tournament will always be top 8. But then I noticed that it doesn't scale after that. So even if you have 1,000 players in it, right, it's still top 8. The only thing that would change is the number of rounds. So that's how that works. The judges were telling everybody, and I confirmed this like multiple times, that the tournament was going to be top 16 cut. So everyone was talking about it. Everyone was happy, like, oh shit, this makes it like a little bit easier because it was 108 people and we were only going to play 7 rounds of Swiss. So I was like, this is a walk in the park, especially
108 people with top 16. That's an online tournament. That's the level of free that feels like.
Correct. So I felt like it was super free because, not to be braggadocious here, but like a player at my level, if I can't top a 108-person tournament that is top 16, and it's not even an online one, which I feel like an online tournament theoretically should be harder just because you could get more talent there. Whereas Richmond is like people who are close to Richmond, right? Or people who are like enthusiasts and fly across the country. Not many people are going to do that. So I was like, this is essentially a glorified, bigger local tournament, and it should be pretty easy. And it was. Like, I didn't lose a game until round 5. The first 4 rounds, I was just straight up 8-0. I didn't drop a single game for 4 rounds straight. So the tournament was easy. And I was like, oh, once I got the 5-0, I went around telling everybody, like, yo, I'm 5-0, which means I'm guaranteed top 16. There's no way I'm dropping from, because there's only 2 more rounds. So even if I lost the next 2 rounds, I'm still going to be top 16. That's just how that works. Because by round 5, there's only 3 undefeateds, I believe there were left by round. Like when round 5 was over, I think there were 3 undefeated or something like that. So I was like, there's no way I'm dropping from one of 3 undefeated people in the entire tournament to less than 16th place. So I was really comfortable, and I was walking around like, oh, like my next match doesn't really matter, like even if I get sacked or whatever. And then I did, round 6 happened, and I did get sacked with just Black Wings being Black Wings. I got Whirlwind Solemned like 2 games, and I was like, okay, that's fine. That I got that out the way. Round 6, there's only 1 more round left. I'm X1. I got that out the way, so I don't have to worry. Hopefully that doesn't happen again at any point. And then round 7, I played against my good friend, fellow YCS champion, and fellow alternate universes local player Tom Mack. Phenomenal player. He's playing Diva Hero B. We had a really long match, and I ended up winning. So that guaranteed me being in top 8 now. But I was like, well, it's fine, Tom. You'll be in top 16 no matter what, because just like me, his record was pretty good. His only losses were to an undefeated person and to me, who also only lost to an undefeated person. So we were both comfortable knowing that we would be in top 16 no matter what. So top 16 goes up, and I get third out of 16 people. I'm the third seed in the tournament. So I'm really happy. I'm like, that's fucking sick. I'm really high placement. I felt really well. I played really well, I felt like, and everything. And then Cam comes over to me. He's like, I got 16th. And I was like, oh shit, we both made it. And we're teammates. Like we're fucking Ring of Destruction teammates. So, and we talk all the time about Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. We even talked for 3 hours on Wednesday night just about the game.
Yeah.
While I was packing, because I left on Thursday. So I was packing Wednesday night. He was on a Discord call with me for 3 hours, just talking about stuff. Diva Hero Beat, which is what he played, and I was talking about Frog Hero, which is what I played. And we were just talking about everything. So I was super excited that the person who I've been talking to the most prior to this tournament was also in Top Cut with me, and we wouldn't be playing each other. So that was also cool. But after around like 30 minutes of everybody going on Twitter and Facebook and wherever they go to post things, people saying like, oh, I made top 16 at the Ultimate Timers tournament, people posting the standings and everything like that, super excited, super happy. 30 minutes have passed. I'm standing by Silverman's booth. He's vending for alternate universes. And somebody comes over to me and says, did you hear what happened? And I'm like, no. So my heart drops because I'm like, I already feel like some BS is about to come. Because anytime a Yu-Gi-Oh player comes over to you and says, did you hear what happened? And they have like this sort of a grin, like a Cheshire cat grin. I was like, something bad. I was like, I just hope it's not concerning me, but like something bad has happened. So he's like, apparently the tournament's actually top 8. And they just fucked up telling people that it was top 16. So I'm like, are you fucking serious? And he was like, yes, that's what's happening right now. So I walked away from Silverman's vending station, and I go over to like where the Konami reps are who did the signups for side events and stuff like that. And I'm not going over there to like say anything. I'm just going over there because people are complaining at this point, including my teammate Cam here, who's like, he's like, yo, this is insane. All your judges, literally every single judge from multiple rounds in a row said that this tournament was top 16 cut. So when we go over to the reps, they have a giant iPad. They have like an iPad Pro, the biggest one you could get, the biggest one you could possibly have. And they're like, well, our website, and the guy turns the iPad around to face us. He's like, the website says top 8. So
I know what the website says, but I'm here in person, and the humans are saying that it's top 16.
Yeah, like your judges are telling everyone, and they have been telling everyone since before round 1, round 2, round 3, the entire tour, they've been telling everyone that this tournament is top 16 cut. So everyone who played, all 108 players in this tournament, played under the guise that this was going to be top 16. And let me tell you how I know that's true. People didn't drop when they were X2 because they all thought that they had a shot. When in reality, the second you became X2 in this event, you couldn't make top 8 anymore unless you were Tom Mack. Tom Mack is the only player who actually made top 8. I beat him in the last round, and again, he had the best tiebreakers out of everyone, which is the only way you could get in anyway. His tiebreakers were, again, me. My only loss was to an undefeated. So he has one of the best tiebreakers, the 3rd seed, and then his other tiebreaker was to the guy who actually was 1st seed. So his 2 losses are the 1st seed, the 3rd seed. So he ends up getting 8th place. He is the only out of like 16 X2s, he's the only one who made it. Everyone else was in top cut. The guy who was 1st seed was undefeated, and then the other 6 people were X1 like me, and then Tom Mack was X2, the only one that got in. And there were several people with X2 records. Basically, what that says is that if you were X2 in this tournament, whenever you took an X2 loss, if it wasn't the last round, and if your tiebreakers weren't insane, there was no reason for you to continue. And everyone finished the tournament because they all thought they had a shot, right? So this was soul crushing because people would have done different things with their day. Like if you went 2-2, you had no reason to continue.
Absolutely.
There's no reason. If you went 2-2, which I believe Gary might have gone 2-2, I forget. But he was like, he started off 2-0, then he lost round 3, and he might have lost round 4. So if that was the case, there was no reason for him to play out the next 3 rounds, which take over 3 hours of time, and wait for standings. He could have done. He could have started playing the side events where you win the hamster mats, which are pretty lucrative right now, or just do anything else. Like literally go back to the hotel room and jerk off if he wanted to. Like whatever he wanted to do, he could have done. He could have gone out to eat, like anything, right? But everyone stayed in. Everyone finished the tournament out, unless of course if you went X3, you dropped.
Yeah.
But like every X2, there were no drops for X2 play because they all just assume like I have a shot, so I'm staying in, which really fucking sucks. And another caveat to this is that we found out that if you do drop from the tournament, so there's this ticketing system they have. Every side event you play at YCS is now you get tickets. It's like a carnival. You get actual physical tickets, which I think they need to revamp it, but that's another conversation. So you get physical tickets, and you get tickets based on what the event is, how many rounds you won during the event, and stuff like that. Well, apparently, if you drop from this 7-round tournament at any point, you get no tickets.
Yep.
Which I find that to be ridiculous. Yeah.
You don't get. Okay, so the system is like you get 3 tickets for a win, 5 tickets for 2 wins. I don't understand the ratio here. And Like I got 10 tickets for 5 wins when I should get like.
Wait, hold on.
13.
Wait. You get 3 tickets for a win, and you get 5 tickets for 2 wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
right. I said that. I told the guy. I mean, like, I'm not complaining because I got 5 tickets for like the goat side event I was in and stuff. Dude, let me talk about that one later. But like, that was annoying.
Just remember, and then we'll definitely bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so I try and lawyer these guys though. Me and Ark. We both try and lawyer these guys on, and we're talking to them. They flip around the thing and they show like, well, if there's this many players, there's this many rounds of this top cut, that's our policy. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. And this one guy kept saying, he kept repeating, if you had any questions, you should have come ask. And I was like, we didn't have any questions. The judges were telling us it was top 16. Any questions that we had were being answered before we had them.
With
misinformation. Yeah, like why would we come and ask you if it's going to be top 16 when the judges are telling us? Like we didn't have any questions. You're telling me to come ask questions when I don't have any. I don't.
You're also telling me to ask you, a judge, because that's what this person was. This person was just a judge. You're telling me to ask you, a judge, something that I already asked and confirmed with another judge, another group of judges at that. Like that doesn't even make sense. It's like if I said, "Hey, officer, is this illegal to do this?" and they said yes, why would I walk to another police officer and say, "Hey, officer, is this illegal to do this?"
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense. Like once one confirms it, I'm going to assume that
Hey guys, if you like this clip, we have full video versions of our podcast episodes available on the IMNerd Patreon, as well as exclusive content.
If you'd like to listen to our full podcast episodes or find us on any other social media platforms, you can do so by clicking the link tree below.